Step 3 is images. Now this one is pretty vital to get right in order to aid your conversions, which in turn will aid your ranking. So no questions about this, get it outsourced. Get a good photographer, no sorry, scratch that. Get an excellent photographer who really knows product photography and get them to take 7 images of your product. Now when it comes to crafting the perfect images that are going to make your customers want to buy the product, then you need to follow these top 5 tips. Number 1, your main image should just be a picture of the product with any accessories that follow on a white background. Now we can't really do much more about it than that, Amazon states that. However, what you do need to do is make sure that your product in some way, shape or form points up and towards the right, so diagonally up and towards the right. Now the reason for this is because the human reader, or the human eye more likely, is naturally drawn to the end of an arrow. So if you make your product point towards the top right of the picture, then it's automatically drawing their eye across to your title and price. And there you'll be able to draw them in with a bit more sales copy, a nice punchy benefit statement within your title, which will get you better click-through rates. So that's my number 1 tip. Tip number 2 is making sure that images 2, 3 and 4 show absolutely every angle possible of the product. Abstract close-ups, you know the like. Basically, because the customer does not have the possibility of holding your product physically in their hands, you have to show them every single angle. And you have to make it so that they can see all of the benefits of your product. So overlay each of those 3 images with a benefit statement. So for example, if you're selling noise cancellation headphones, then your benefit statement on one of your pictures could be, immerse yourself, hear only your music. And this portrays a feature of noise cancellation, but is written as a benefit to the customer. Now tip number 3 is I always end with 3 lifestyle shots. Ask your photographer to find some models that fit your customer avatar. Take 3 shots with them using the product in the environment your product is normally used in. And that's going to help the customer to feel how they will feel once they have purchased it and be able to picture themselves with your product. Now tip number 4 is that all images should be either 2000 by 2000 or 2500 by 2500 pixels square. This allows the buyer to zoom into the pictures and get a really good idea of the quality and also see every single aspect, and which will help conversions. Now lastly, tip number 5 is more of a heads up than a tip, to be honest. If you don't have Photoshop, or you're not savvy with Photoshop, you don't know how to use it, or you just don't want to pay the license fee, then head over to canva.com, again, link in the description, and that one is a completely free service. It's almost like Photoshop, it's not quite the same, but you can drag and drop photos in, you can move them around, put backgrounds in, you can get graphics free of charge, put titles and benefit statements overlaid. It's really good, and it also catalogs all your images so that you can go back to them later on instead of having 10 copies of the same image on your desktop. So that's a good tip for you. Now overall, I typically spend around £500 to £700, which is about $700 to $1,000 for a full set of 7 images from my photographer, and that includes the model costs. And I tell you what, I never regret it. It's much better to have your own product shots with your own models and your own product taken in the right environment than stealing some stock images, or even just buying stock images from a stock website like Shutterstock and then using them and overlaying your product into the hand of a doctor, for example. And I just think it just doesn't look great at all. Just make sure you spend the money and get some decent product shots.